Hello traders, let's look at indices. Indices, especially the US ones like S&P500, US30, NASDAQ, they are reaching all-time highs. The S&P500 is about to break its like an all-time high and is nearly there. And the FTSE is kind of consolidating, but it is also on the path to recovery. My name is Vic. Thanks for joining me in this analysis. Now let's start with DXY first, because everything that we see in the market at the moment is dependent on US dollar and its strength. There is a lot of volatility coming into the market because of not just because of COVID-19, it is also because of US presidential elections. So at the moment the dollar index is kind of like now struggling around here. We were expecting market to actually move higher, and it may still do so. If you haven't seen my analysis or an exclusive post on just on DXY, then go and check it out on YouTube. It has a lot of very good points, and I am presenting a contrarian view on DXY. The general perception on dollar is that it's very weak, it's going to go down, it's heavily bearish and all that. But in that view, I am presenting like there can be a bullish case and dollar can actually make a comeback, and you'll see a lot of good points in there. Even if you do not tend to agree to them, you should still watch, in my opinion. Okay, so dollar index, if the market starts to find bullish momentum, then it means that most of the other things are expected to go down, including the equity markets as well. So if I go to the S&P 500 here, what we can see that market is nearly around like the previous high, and it is expected to go higher even further than that. If you have been following my analysis, I'm expecting market to reach into 35 to 3600, in fact near about 3600 level or so, before it starts to show a sharp move down. Because if you look at the 1 year time frame, there is a huge bearish candle which is a hammer forming, and it can go all the way near about to 35 to 3600, and towards the end of this year this will create a foundation for next year to create a bearish momentum in the S&P 500. So it is actually, if you are bearish on S&P 500 and equity markets, if you think fundamentals are not in the favor, then you must wait for this year end to think about any bearish positions, any kind of short positions in the market. At the moment it is going to go up, and we were expecting market to take a little break. It did around here, but then it recovered, and now because the market actually completed a pattern here, it is expected to complete an extended pattern somewhere around here, which we identified in the previous analysis as well. So if I bring in original analysis, this is what we were expecting. We are expecting market to come to 3400, and if that gets broken, then it is going to go to 35,560, near about that level, before it starts to fall down. And this can take few months to be there, and that is where our hammer candle can actually finish. It can also form a little bit of wick around here before it settles down to become a hammer candle. There is another scenario where it actually goes above 3400, and then it just stays, it just consolidates around there. But because we have a lot of fundamentals are also coming in, presidential elections and all that, so it remains to be seen what it is going to do. I'm expecting it to continue rising to 3556 before it starts to fall down next year. So what can we do right now? If I go to the weekly time frame, all we can say is that market was expected to go down to this level, which it did. If I remove that, so there was a wick around here, and if you were short on that level, then you would have made money. But I identified this trend that market was going to go higher and higher. The next level is going to be 3400. This is where the previous high was as well. So you can expect a lot of volatility around here. There can be upward movement, sudden upward movement, and there can be sudden downward movement. So you'll have to be careful if you are trading on if you're trading a swing trade, then you have to be extra careful, because market may actually create a lot of wicks. These levels are still valid because they have been acting as support and resistance in past, so these are still valid and market can come to this level as well. So if you go to the 4-hour time frame, what we can see that market is kind of consolidating at the moment. It does not have a clear indication. It had a huge fall, which brought it down to this level which we identified, and now if we draw fib on it, you can see that it came very close to 38.2, but it did not reach there. So it is consolidating, and it will keep on consolidating, and there can be spikes on either sides. So you'll have to be careful on S&P 500. If you're thinking of buying it at the moment, do not do so. I will not advise you to do so. This is an educational, this analysis is for education anyway, so I'm not advising anything, but I will not be looking for a buy into this market for swing trading. If you're a day trader, then you will obviously have a lot of WNM patterns and a lot of opportunities, a lot of breakout opportunities as well, where you can make money. There was a consolidation around here, around what a cluster algo, moving average, and then started to move higher, which created a W pattern, and that's why it started to fall. Then we had this N pattern completing right on this water cluster, again it started to move upwards. So if you know how to trade WNM patterns with Fibonacci, you can still play a very nice, you can still find very nice trades in this market. If you want to find more information about training about WNM patterns using Fibonacci, check out in the description. You'll be able to see a lot more information there. Okay, so this is S&P 500. I'm not looking for any buy. I'm waiting on the side to see what the market does. But however, for a day trading point of view, I can look for WNM patterns on S&P 500. Okay, let's look at oh, before we move on, actually I missed one point that I wanted to mention, and I've been mentioning it since for last few weeks, is that there was a gap around here which has been filled, and you are not able to see on here, but if I go to any other chart, that's the gap that has been filled. So you need to take care of these things as well. If your broker feed is not showing you gaps and all those things, then you should switch over to another feed to see if there is anything like that. Okay, let's look at US30. Okay, on US30, which is kind of mimicking the behavior of of S&P 500, we have identified there is a gap here, and the market can move into that. On daily time frame, because the market has become very slow now, so you don't expect too much of momentum, but it will still have a little bit of better momentum than S&P 500 now, because there are lesser companies in US30, and those companies are bigger companies. So we were expecting market to move to this level of 27161, which happened, and then I said I could move into 27636, which happened, and now we were expecting market to move down because we have this W pattern completing. So far it is struggling. If the market comes below 27636 and we get an opportunity, we get a proper confirmation, then we can look for a short. But in this market, I'm not going to look for huge, very long term, profit targets. I'm going to look for short term opportunities only. So if I go to the 4-hour time frame, what we have here is that consolidation is happening, and there is a lot of indecision. This is not a good market for a swing trading point of view, unless it shows us a clear WNM patterns. Now there is a W pattern here, so on day trade it was perfectly fine. Then we had an M pattern which completed right on this water cluster moving average, and that's why the market started to move. So if you're interested in day trading using WNM patterns, especially in consolidating markets, then you can actually do that with Fibonacci and Fibonacci based strategy. I call that as FCP strategy. It's a Fibonacci confluence pattern strategy, and it is highly predictable and highly profitable because you can predict a lot of moves, and you can have pre-planned trades in there. You can know where to enter, how to enter, where to put your stop loss, where the profit targets are going to be. Okay, this is US30. Let's move on to which one is the next one? NASDAQ. Okay, on NASDAQ, market kind of fooled us a little bit, because if I just remove this, and this as well. Okay, we identified this zone a few weeks ago, and it turned out to be a very good opportunity because it gave us very good trades around here for short-term swing trading. Then it went above this zone, and I said, like, market could come into this zone once again for a retest, and this is the retest. You see this candle which appeared, this came right into this zone and started to move upwards. Now next week, if the market starts to move upwards from here, then we can go for a profit target on to up to 11751. But because the market, all other indices are consolidating, so I'm not expecting a huge move, so I'll still be very careful. If I take a trade here, a long trade, I'm not going to shoot for 11751 straight away. I'll be taking in baby steps. I'll be watching the price action, and I'll be careful in taking the profits. If the market falls below this zone and retests, then we can look for a short opportunity based on the confirmation that we have. So this analysis is still intact, and the only thing that has happened last week is that it has performed a retest. Let's go to the daily time frame. On daily time frame, this is the retest I was talking about. Now market has come back up. If it gives us a good confirmation, then we can look for a long opportunity. One of the confirmations can be this structure break of this previous high. It can actually move upwards if it breaks through that. Okay, let's look at FTSE 100, UK 100. Now UK 100 actually fell right from that zone that we had. This is acting as more of predictable index than US indices. US indices at the moment are not predictable because of various conditions and consolidations. However, in here on UK 100 we had a very good trade. It actually fell down right from the zone that we were expecting. Last week we were suggesting that market could go into this zone and then fall back down, and that's exactly how has happened. Market came here, test this water cluster moving average, and then fell back down after testing the 6252 level, and we were able to take short from there because we see this W pattern right there, and this was completing here along with confluence of water cluster moving average, and that's why it fell down. It actually exceeded our profit target. It went on to complete its it has not completed the second profit target, but it came very close to it. So if you were able to spot this, then you would have paid a lot of money around here. Now what can we do in terms of the next week? Next week I'm expecting market to go up again and try to fill this wick up, because the market is still bullish. What we can see that it is still above this mid of the Bollinger Band, and we can expect market to retrace steps, go upwards and fill this bullish candles wick. So it is expected to be bullish, especially when the market has come here. Now there could be a couple of days where it can go down, but ultimately it will start to move upwards, and that's what we are looking for. We are going to look for a buy in this market on FTSE 100. Okay, let's look at DAX. We have not been covering this for a long time now. DAX is kind of following the same as S&P 500. S&P 500, if I show you that, it created this candle here which was kind of indecision, then started to move upwards. DAX kind of follows the same indecision kind of candle, then there was a downward movement, and now it is moving upwards. Now there could be a gap around here at this level of 11,577, so we'll have to be careful with that. But this is still looking bullish, and it can go all the way to 13,300, because that's where the market fell down from. If that level is broken, then we are looking for the next level to be the highs, and if that is broken, then we are looking at the next level to be around 14,500 or so. And if I go to the 12-month time frame, what we see here is that huge hammer candle forming. If it stays like this till the end of this year, then it's going to be bearish next year. If it actually goes up, it will still create a hammer candle on DAX. That means most of the indices are pointing that it's going to be bearish time coming starting from next year. So on daily time frame, what we can expect market to do is, market is creating this W pattern. It may still rise back into this before falling down. At the moment it has actually completed one W pattern, and it may go back high up into that level. So this is our analysis on indices. We have been able to cover DXY, S&P500, US30, Downjones, and NASDAQ, UK100, which is FTSE100, and also DAX. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you found this useful. If you did, hit the like button, and in the comment section let me know what you think about this analysis. What is your opinion on indices? What do you think is going to happen in next year or time which is coming? And from fundamental side of view, if you have any opinions, let me know in the comment section. We can discuss that. And do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and share my work with other traders. That's how we help each other in trading world. Thank you. If you're interested in learning how to analyze the markets the way I do using Fibonacci Confluence, then head over to Vikinsa.com, and under training section you'll be able to see Core Strategy Training Program. On this page you'll be able to see the testimonials of previous students, and also look at the brochure. The brochure has a lot more information, including the course structure and the Fibonacci Confluence Training Program curriculum. This is a very extensive program in which we cover basic core Fibonacci concepts along with the advanced concepts to analyze the markets with high probability. If you're interested in joining this program, come to Vikinsa.com, and under training section you'll be able to see and submit this form. Thank you for watching. Find and follow us on these social media channels.